Hey guys, welcome back. So today we'll be classifying triangles by the length of their sides. So let's look at these examples here. Let's look at my blue triangle that we have here. So if you have a triangle where none of the sides are equal, so for an example, let's say this was 2, this was 3, and this was 6. If none of the sides are equal, then you have a scalene triangle. Let's look at my orange triangle that we have here. For this orange triangle, so let's say these two sides are equal. If you have a triangle and there are two equal sides, then you have an isosceles triangle. If I have a triangle where all the sides are equal, then you have an equilateral triangle. And for my equilateral triangle, let's say all the sides here were 2. So this is 2, this is 2, and this is 2. This is an example of an equilateral triangle. And then for my isosceles triangle, let's say this was a 4 here, a 4 here, and then this length down here would be an 8. So if that's the case, then this is an example of an isosceles triangle because two of my sides are equal. And always remember that when you are looking at your triangles, that if you see red slash marks through your triangle, that means that the sides are equal. And if you see red arcs like this, that means that your angles are equal. And sometimes for the angles, sometimes you may see red arcs or you may see red arcs with like slashes through them like this to indicate that your angles are equal. So let's look at this example here. Is this an isosceles triangle, a scalene triangle, or an equilateral triangle? And based on this example here, because I have two equal sides, which are going to be my 3's here, this is my 3 here and another 3 here. I have two equal sides. Then my answer here is going to be A, isosceles triangle. Let's look at this example here. Notice here that none of my sides are equal. Since none of my sides are equal, then my answer is going to be B, a scalene triangle. Let's look at this example here. Notice that two of my sides are equal. So since two of my sides are equal, this is an example of an isosceles triangle. So your answer here is going to be A. In this example, notice that all my sides are equal. And since all my sides are equal, then my answer here is going to be C, an equilateral triangle. And remember, if you saw slashes through the lines, that's also indicating that the sides are equal. So if you saw an example like this would also be an equilateral triangle because this is letting me know that my sides are equal. Let's look at this example here. And in this example, we also have a scalene triangle. My answer here is going to be B because none of my sides here are equal. I have a 2, a 4, and a 5, and because none of my sides are equal, then this is a scalene triangle. Let's look at this example here, and in this example, all my sides are equal. So since all my sides are equal, this is an example of an equilateral triangle. In this example here, we have an example of a scalene triangle because none of my sides here are equal. We have a 3, a 4, and a 6. Since none of my sides are equal, your answer here is going to be B for scalene triangle. In this example here, notice that I have two sides that are the same. And that's going to be my 8's here. So I have 8 centimeters here and 8 here. So because I have two sides that are the same, that are equal, then this is an example of an isosceles triangle. So your answer here is going to be A. Your answer for this example here is going to be B for scalene because none of my sides here are equal. So since none of my sides are equal, then this is a scalene triangle. This example here is also an example of a scalene because none of my sides are equal. So since none of my sides are equal, then the answer here is B for scalene triangle. This example here, since all of my sides are equal, this is an example of an equilateral triangle. What if I had something like this? For this example here, I have two slashes that are going through my lines here, indicating that I have two sides that are equal. Since I have two sides that are equal, is this going to be an isosceles triangle, a scalene triangle, or an equilateral triangle? And since I have two sides that are equal, this is an example of an isosceles triangle. So your answer here is going to be A. And this example here, notice that none of my sides are equal. Since none of my sides are equal, then this is an example of a scalene triangle. So your answer here is going to be B. And let's say I did not indicate what the length of my sides are. One thing I can note here is that notice that I do not have any slashes going through the lines at all. So if there's no slashes, that means that there are no equal sides also in this example here. So since there are no equal sides, then I also know that my answer will still be B, a scalene triangle. All right, so that is all for today, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.